Good morning. This is Forex Films. It is Tuesday, May the 24th, 2011. And we've got several interesting trade setups going on this morning. Right now we're looking at the Euro-US dollar with 1 hour candles. And really since we've hit the bottom just below 140, we haven't been able to break back below, even with very bad news coming out of the Eurozone, with the Greek opposition leader voting against the new Greek austerity plan, and we also have Belgium's outlook turning negative, and other countries' debt looking worse. Spain's situation is still far off from being something we really need to be concerned about, but it's looking more and more negative, and that could really cause us to experience another economic crisis if we're really not in one right now, which is definitely arguable, just not by looking at the markets. So we had this move downward, which is really in 3 waves, and we were looking at this yesterday. I got in another minimal position, hoping that this was like the end of a 4th wave and we would head lower, which this whole thing still could be, but it's really looking more and more like we're going to go higher. So we just need something to give us a break to the upside. This is the 4-hour chart, and this has been choppy for a while. We haven't really made much progress. We can't really seem to very successfully break the 1.40 level. We did break it, but we've really come down to that level twice, and we're rising up off of it again. It doesn't mean we're not going to continue downward, but this does not look like it is the 3rd wave that a lot of people were looking for. Now this could still be A wave movement here, B wave, and we could be experiencing a C wave, which I'd previously put out in the count. But keep a close eye on this. This looks like it's going to go higher, at least for the near term. We may still need to look at 145, or even go to the alternate count, which would target the 1.54 to 1.55 zone. But short term, looking higher, because we're also gaining off of negative news. Another thing we need to look out for is here pretty soon, U.S. new home sales figures are coming out, and not for this pair, but for British pound. We got a lot of UK data tomorrow. Australian dollar tonight. We have a few economic releases that could lead us into more continuation on that pair. I'm still looking higher. Here we have the British pound. This is a daily chart. I wanted to bring up the daily because it's a lot more obvious what's going on here. We had the same period of consolidation and then a drop, and we had long wicks off the bottom here. Now we've got another long wick. If we close up like this, there's a very good chance that we could experience a lot more continuation to the upside. So I'd like to be long from here. Let's go to shorter time frame. Shorter time frame, it looks a lot like the euro. So keep looking at that. Dollar yen, which I was hoping would drop to the downside, but I got out of this a while ago due to lack of continuation, and it looks now like it might accelerate to the upside and break out actually to the upside, just because dollar pairs look like they're going higher, and that would mean this would most likely go higher in the case of adding to risky trades. Here's it on the daily, and a lot of people have been expecting this to be the base for a long-term uptrend. I really am not very confident in that right now, but we could experience a larger correction before the drop. So I'm not really playing yen pairs at all right now. I had tried a couple days ago on the Swiss yen, but I'm totally out of that now also. Here is the Aussie dollar. I made a post on my Twitter account about this. I was looking at this as A, B, C before, and we had these 3 long wicks. But then later on, I saw all these topping candles looking like we're going to take a plunge. So we did get a new low, but we're all pretty much coming off of a trend support line here. So it's really the reverse of what we saw here on a much larger scale. So seeing as how this doesn't really look impulsive, and we have several bottoms in the same area, just a little bit lower, looks like we could get a lot more continuation to the upside. There is one way that this could be very bearish, and that's if this is a series of 1s and 2s. But we'll still experience more continuation to the upside, and then we'll have, when we get up to this trend line resistance here, we'll have to take another look. If it's bouncing hard off there, we're definitely going to have to go short. Probably a better time to short the euro than the Aussie, because the euro has been performing more poorly, has worse fundamentals, and because we don't have to pay as much to hold that position. I also want to look at the dollar Swiss. This is one of my favorite patterns here. These candles. If we close near the low on this at all, it signals that we will most likely have another all-time low. So I'm going to definitely be watching this. I'm actually short this already, but I will add quite a bit to my position, probably double my position, if we close near the low on this trade today. One last chart. Dollar CAD. This looks a lot like the Aussie dollar, only the CAD here was more bullish, or rather bearish, than the Australian dollar was. It doesn't have as much yield, so that kind of makes sense, but it's the same kind of deal here. We could be experiencing a series of 1s and 2s, which would lead to a huge surge upward. Or if we break low out of here, we could experience another low, or, by low I mean less than 94, or just a deep correction here. So there's several good trades to keep your eyes on. It's time to take some dollar shorts, it looks like, and just keep an eye on your trades today. Watch all these trend lines. If we get any breakouts, it could lead to lots of volatility. Thanks for watching. Appreciate any comments, questions, and please visit forexfilms.com.